is Jamie G, and of course, you were watching Grindy Talk Season 2 here at the Boulder Channel. Yes, and hello, hello. Look who I'm with. But before introducing our special guest for today, I would just like to mention that welcome once again to Grindy Talk Season 2, and we are live on Kumu. That is, of course, at TBC, also on Facebook. That is at TBC Plus and at GrindMag TV. At syempre, hindi lang yon. We also have a YouTube channel. Just type in the Boulder Channel. So once again, thank you so much, guys, for tuning with us today. Now, let me start by saying, rather, by giving you a popular quote from an influential queen, which goes something like this. I think that the China and Philippines have always had a good relationship with each other. We have their culture and traditions even up to this day. O, diba? Pwede. But the real question is, what is really happening? Kaya naman this afternoon, pag-uusapan natin yan with our special guest. Pag-uusapan natin yung mga issues concerning our ties with the Chinese and how really is the Filipino-Chinese community taking everything all in. Kaya naman without further ado, let us welcome and I shall introduce our very special guest. He is a writer, realty entrepreneur, teacher, owner of Kamuning Bakery, politics, history, economics analyst, and the current chairman of Anvil Business Club, formerly the Association of Young Filipino-Chinese Entrepreneurs. So guys, please welcome Wilson Lee Flores. Hello,
Good afternoon.
welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Jamie, and all the people listening. I hope you're
Yes.
okay.
Yes, thank you so much for that. And thank you for your time here with us on Grind Mag TV. But you know what?
Yes.
Moving ahead, Wilson, as chairman
Yes.
of the Anvil Business Club, ano yung mga critical issues and challenges na you faced during this pandemic? Alam naman natin, napakahirap,
Yes.
And also, what are the result of the continuing cases on global Asian discrimination? Ayan.
Yes. That's very interesting. First of all, congratulations for your show, Jamie, and all
Thank
the
you very
other
much.
colleagues. Very fun ito
Yes.
and entertaining. Most of the members of Anvil Business Club are entrepreneurs in their 20s up to 40s. So the
Okay.
the main concerns would be business survival during a global crisis. Kasi
Mm-mm.
maraming problema ang business today because of the worldwide pandemic na affected
Totoo.
ang our economy is hard hit. We have one of the
Mm-mm.
worst in the entire history of the Philippines. I think in this century, this is the worst economic crisis. Aside from World War II, this is one of the
Yes,
worst.
yes.
So, ang challenge ngayon of entrepreneurs, especially the young ones, members of Anvil 20s to 40s, is business survival, how to survive in this economy and how to
Right.
recover sana hopefully soon. And then
Yes.
you have a second question about the discrimination against Asians, especially in America and North America.
Yes.
When we read about it all over the news, very sad and tragic. But it's also the only positive thing I see. At least lumitaw yung problema kasi this anti-Asian
Mm.
discrimination in North America has been ongoing for 100 or 200 years. In fact,
Exactly.
I saw a video of all these Hollywood entertainers and media people in Asia, in North America, detailing all the anti-Asian incidents in the past 150 years in America, kasama
Mm-mm.
Pilipino. In the 1920s and
Yes.
30s, the Filipinos were targeted by law and by riots or mga violent incidents. And
Mm-mm.
one of the worst incidents of anti-Asian discrimination in America, ang biktima, 65-year-old Filipina in New York.
Nakakaawa,
Nakita mo yon? There
Yes,
was this
nakita ko po yun.
there was this luxury residential condo, and then may violent incident against this 65-year-old Filipina, and all the staff of that luxury condo, walang
Mm-mm.
pakialam. They don't care what. Sinara pa nila yung pintuan. Not only
Correct,
that, they did not
correct.
help the Filipina 65-year-old. So this is very worrisome thing. But the only good lang that I could see out of this is it came out in the open na yun what was sa face na hindi masyadong open, the anti-Asian discrimination and racism in North America that has always been there.
Yes, yes.
Nakatago lang siya. And this pandemic made it come out in the open because of Trump's anti-Asian rants. Marami siyang anti-foreigner rants. Muslim, anti-Mexican, anti-Black, and then now anti-Asian pa. So that's
Grabe, no? It's really worrisome, and especially nga na it's good that we are actually talking about it, and it has already lifted nga. It's here on the surface already. So people all over the world, know it already. Na. Yes, we are all aware. And yun na nga, just to add, no?
Yes. Nalala mo, Jamie, I remember there was another video of a Filipino family in California eating dinner. Tapos there was this Caucasian guy na iniinsulto sila. Remember that?
Yes, I also saw that, Wilson. Grabe na rin ang discrimination. And speaking of that, no? Speaking of that discrimination, how did it affect your organization? I mean, given that global Asian discrimination, naapektuhan po ba siya?
Yes. I'm sure there is kasi when Trump keeps on mouthing anti-Asian and specifically anti-Chinese racist rants, di ba, si Trump for 1 year, kasi ang attempt ni Trump i-cover up yung failures niya in the pandemic response niya, pumalpa kasi siya, di ba? He did not prepare for it. He did not, talagang at a loss siya what to do. The economy of America last year collapsed. So ang ginagawa niya, looking for a scapegoat na pwede i-blame everything. So anti-China, anti-Chinese. It did not save him from the election loss, pero it had a very negative effect on all Asians. So very worrisome yan kasi anything during economic or social crisis, anything na anti-immigrant, anti-minority unrest is bad for the whole country or the whole world.
Right. Yeah, so thank you for your answer. Pero moving forward, thank you. But moving forward, no, how did your organization manage to stay fit naman amid the pandemic? Kasi we are interested in maybe you can share with us and your viewers yung mga activities and projects that you've done. Yeah.
Itong Unbuild Business Club kasi most of our entrepreneur members, we could not meet physically anymore. So we use Zoom to regularly meet and to help all the members, the young entrepreneurs, 20s to 40s, we invite all these experts in business in different fields to come and talk to us, the members and the officers, to share their strategies on how to be better, how to survive, how to overcome everything from IT to online business to all kinds of topics, and including health. Anything
that's good. That
will benefit business people.
Yes, and it's really important that you really take care of your people and also, the people you are working with. So, your project.
Yes, we also have civic projects sa Unbuild Business Club. Like during the Chinese New Year, February, we gave away a lot of rice. Mga members namin donated money. Tapos, we distributed rice in Quezon City, urban poor areas, and Tondo, Manila, urban poor areas. Hindi pa nag-ECQ. Wala pang ECQ. So our officers went there to physically distribute, pero naka-socially distanced because the barangay captains there were very efficient. Yun, all the urban poor families, nobody would come out. Puro may mga upuan outside their houses. And then you would put the packs of rice. Very interesting.
Wow, really interesting.
Civic projects to help people.
Yes. That is really wonderful to know, no? I mean, like, it's really true that sharing is caring indeed. And we just really have to take care sa mga nangangailangan talaga ng tulong from us. So, that's really wonderful na you have such projects, no? So, ayan, with that, thank you, Wilson. And thank you, of course, to our Filipino-Chinese brothers and sisters na talaga naman tuloy-tuloy ang pagsuporta sa ating mga kababayang Pinoy. So guys, marami pa tayong pag-uusapan sa aming pagbabalik. Kaya dyan lang kayo at Grindy Talk Season 2. We'll be right back after this short break.
Out too much.
Yes, so ayan na nga on backstage at talagang
Yes.
nag-ano na kami ni Wilson about what's really happening no mid the pandemic. But
Yes,
let me
yes.
start no by welcoming
Yes.
you guys back, and I'm just gonna state something no. So according to research and a survey from the social weather stations showed that Filipinos trusted the US and Australia more than China. At ang sabi nga nila, the SWS July 2020 National Mobile Phone Survey asked 1,555 Filipinos which of the three countries they trusted more than the other. And it was revealed that the US received a net trust rating of positive 42. So this, however, was lower than positive 67 net rating in December 2019. Now, the net trusting for Australia was at positive 27, which is also lower than the positive 33 it received in December 2019. So meanwhile, net trust fell from poor to bad for China. And as it went down from negative 27 in December 2019 to negative 36 last year. So with that reference, Wilson, why do you think majority of the Filipinos trust US and Australia more than China? Also, how does
Ah,
this kind of survey or PR affect yung ating Filipino-Chinese community?
very interesting yan, Jamie.
Yes,
Kasi
yes.
I understand that kasi when we were in, di ba, in college, we read the book of Renato Constantino, the
Yeah.
nationalist historian. Sabi niya, most of us in the Philippines have been educated with the American educational system for like half a century during the colonial
Mm-mm.
system. So most of the people in the Philippines actually love America more than the Americans love themselves. There's a Pew Research.
Yeah.
There's a
Yes, yes, yes.
Pew survey, PEW, na do the Americans love America? How many percent? And Filipinos love America? Actually, there are more Filipinos who love America more than the Americans love themselves. The
Correct.
American educational, now we have been uh, culturally conditioned to love Hollywood and US for the past 100
Right.
years because
Correct.
they were our colonizers, di ba? So, ang Chinese naman, I understand kasi panahon pa ng Kastila, the Spaniards were very anti-Chinese for
Tama.
333 years. The Spanish
Mm-mm.
colonizers were anti-Chinese and anti-Filipino actually and anti-Moro, anti-Muslim. In
Mm.
fact,
Yeah.
the word Moro was a pejorative term used by the Spaniards against the Muslims. Pero ang
Mm-mm.
ginawa ng mga Muslim, they proudly reclaimed that name. They kinapit nila
Mm-mm.
in the 70s na proud sila. Hindi to insult. Yung parang sa Amerika, the word Negro wasn't a negative term, pero
Yeah,
ginagamit
yeah, yeah.
it against them. So they don't want to use the word Negro before.
Mm-mm.
Pero
Yeah.
ngayon, they're proud of it. So I understand that kasi for 333 years, the Spaniards discriminated against the Chinese officially by law. And
Mm-mm.
kasi the Chinese that came to the Philippines were not Catholic for the first. When they came here, Catholic. Ang Catholic nila sa Spanish, infieles or
Mm-mm.
infidels. The
Yeah,
way
yeah,
they
yeah.
treated, the way the Spaniards treated the Chinese for 333 years were similar to the way they treated the Jews in Spain. They expelled all
Discriminate.
the Jews. They expelled the Jews. Totally expelled
Grabe.
the Jewish minority. And during nag-remain there to hide their Jewish identity. So
Mm-mm.
yun na so I am not surprised that there's still residual misunderstanding of the Chinese minority after
Right, right. But
333 years. And
oo.
then
But
lately
you
pa, because of the territorial overlapping claims, because of that, lalong na magnify all these things. Pero
correct,
actually,
correct.
ang nakakatawa niyan, we have disputes also with Vietnam, with Taiwan, and actually, I heard Vietnam occupies more islands than the other Asian countries. Pero wala
Okay.
dyaryo, wala sa
Mm.
ano, kasi ang nabasa ko sa big rivalry now is the US and China
Mm.
in this region, and then we happen to be in the middle. So I'm a little bit worried na masama, ano, so it messes up the whole situation.
Yeah, yeah. Also, a follow-up question, kasi you mentioned na during the olden years, no, yung during way back, ano. Pero how
Yes.
about the current situation? Ano yung napapansin mo? Is
We
it
are
pretty
much
much the
better.
same?
Ang maganda
Okay.
naman, we are much better under the independent. Kasi ako, like in our case, family ko, the ancestors ko have been here 260 plus years. So I'm very aware of the history. Under the Philippines, pag Chinese ka pero you are a Filipino citizen, there's no discrimination under the law. So everybody's
Right.
equal. You can vote, you can vote. Cardinal of the church, everyone could be ano. Pero unlike before, it has been much, much better. In fact, in ASEAN, the two best countries toward the Chinese minority, Thailand and the Philippines. Kasi hindi yung problema yung mga Muslim countries na hindi masyadong nakikipag-gel with the minorities.
Correct.
I think
Tama.
our ASEAN neighbors, the Christians and the Chinese and even the Indians have some problems with the majority Muslim. The Muslims are not okay. Pero yung getting of the harmony is not better. Philippines, we are much better, and Thailand, and kasi we are a democracy. So under in a
Nice.
democracy, whether everybody's equal under the law.
It's good that
Yes,
between
much better.
China.
Yung panahon ng Castilla, alam mo yung Noli and Fili?
Yes po.
Noli,
Siya.
yung first chapter na alam mo yung tatay ni Ibarra. Di ba Ibarra came from Europe? And his father died, and then ang ginawa ng enemies of the father of Ibarra burned the father in the Chinese cemetery, di ba? And to him, it was an insult kasi there was a social ostracism. Parang may discrimination against the Chinese minority na if you're buried in their cemetery, parang it's an social insult at the time. Di ba? More than 1,000 years, sabi niya, the Castilla, the Spaniards, ano daw encounter of the Philippines with foreigner, sabi nung barangay captain Chinese, ang tanong niya, they killed a lot of people, they including our national donor, who
Nice.
novels, okay. And then when a lot of Filipinos died also in the war, hundreds of thousands. And then during World War II, when the Japanese came, 13 million Filipinos, 1 million died in 3 years. 13 million. Tapos ang tanong nito sa akin, sabi ng barangay captain, in more than 1,000 years of Chinese encounter in the Philippines, anong bigay ng Chinese dito? Siopaw, siomai, mga midaw, sabi niya. sabi niya, more than 1,000 years now. No stories of evasion and all that. Even Long is victim of disinformation. Hindi mo sa pirate. Hindi the first Filipino saint, di ba? So, even Mother Ignacia, the the first Philippine
Correct. Ang daming I'm learning a lot from you with
the first Filipino West Point graduate who died for the Philippines fighting the Japanese, General Vicente Lima.
Chinese blood.
Oh,
Correct. Tama.
nasa 1,000 peso natin, he died defending the Philippines. They could not even find his corpse yata.
Tama.
We're very much part of Philippine society and very much part of Philippine culture.
Right. Now that you've mentioned Philippine culture and part of the society, now maybe when it comes naman to the growth of media
Yes.
influence, ano ang masasabi niyo in terms of, the Chinese pop culture expansion? Kasi diba may sinasabi nga sa
Interesting.
Philippines. And very interesting yun. And then, are these all strategic as a means to strengthen China's soft power and to further improve Filipino public views of China? Yun po ba ang
Ako, ang tingin ko lang, the Koreans are better at it. Koreans are better. Yung K-pop, Korean movies,
K-pop culture, yes.
Yes, very much better. Not much, siguro the only sikat lang noon, Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee and Jet Li, di ba? And Kung Fu Panda. Pero Kung Fu Panda is actually had invention, Mulan is also Disney. Siguro, I think China has to learn more from Korea and US. Si US ang pinakamagaling kasi Hollywood has engulfed the entire world and made everyone want to dream of America. Yun Hollywood. I think Chinese culture, the only thing na naalala ko from years ago was this F4. Naalala mo?
Oo
F4,
naman. Oo.
Yun. There was a time people were singing Mandarin songs. Pero beyond that, not too much except Chinese food siguro. Bruce Lee, there was a time hindi ka pa pinanganak. Siguro bata pa ako. There was Bruce Lee, the first Chinese pop star na Chinese na hindi din siya born in China. Like they're like us in the Philippines, born in California, grew up there, pero identified as Chinese. Pero siya, American citizen siya.
Yes. But syempre, lahat idol si Bruce Lee. So,
yes.
Sino ba namang hindi ang makakakilala sa kanya?
At saka si Bruce Lee, hindi lang siya martial arts superstar, hindi lang siya philosopher pa yun. You should watch his mga old videos. Ang galing niya na philosopher.
Oo nga, tama. Thanks for reminding me again. I will be binge watch ng mga movies niya. Correct, no? Because we sometimes all have the time in the world ngayong pandemic. But follow-up na question. What about the major network, including Chinese news shows in their programming? Like, for example, there's ABS-CBN, TTV4, GMA, may mga radio shows din.
Yes.
So,
I think magandang observation yan. Kasi based on impression ko, ang magaling dyan, even Al Jazeera, magaling. Imagine, an Arabic owned, state-owned, pero from Qatar yata, worldwide, no? I think, and even Singapore, majority dyan ng Singapore, their Channel News Asia, they're not yet as good as BBC or CNN, I think.
Right.
Even Korean news shows are not as good also. Good only in movies and TV, telenovelas. Pero even Korea talo pa rin sa news. The Westerners are really dominant pagdating sa news. Kaya unfortunately or not, in the world, most of the world view natin is Western influence. Yun view of the world. Wala tayong masyadong
it's really Hollywood.
Asian. Wala tayong masyadong Asian values o Asian perspective of the news of the world. Not too much eh. Even Korea, wala eh. I don't watch any Korean news show, wala pa. So, we should all Asians, even Filipino, we should have, alam mo, dapat tayo in the Philippines, we should have Filipino news channel na seen worldwide also. Instead of us
Tama.
receiving all these Western news,
The local.
may
Yeah,
hindi
yeah,
tayo,
yeah.
the way Filipino view news and people may value something from the Westerners, I would
Mm-mm.
suggest.
But parang magandang way of influencing other cultures and just showing them,
Yes.
no, kung nga ba talaga ang meron ng ating mga traditions, ang Asian, ano. So, having these Chinese news naman no, and programs sa
Yes.
ating streaming media, ang magiging mga implications sa mga regular Pinoys. Like, for example, yung mga Pinoy ba, iniisip pa nila na conquered na ba tayo ng China? Or kaya naman, may talaga nasa sakop na ba talaga tayo ng China?
Wala, wala naman actually news show na China Philippines. CBN tried co-production daw with the newscast na in Mandarin, English, and Tagalog.
Right.
I think the only mistake of the producers are local Chinese in the Philippines. And Ateneo graduate, commission graduate of Ateneo yun young boss doon, kilala ko.
Yes.
I think they did not communicate themselves well. Doesn't mean a Chinese language show doesn't mean it's a China show. Parang if you have suddenly a speaking newscast in the Philippines, it doesn't mean it's a Spanish government or news show. Pero
akala mo, ano na.
Oo, they jump to the wrong conclusion. Hindi mo ma-blame yung mga critics. The critics are, sa basa ko, they jump to the wrong conclusion kasi the producers of the show, both ABS and their local partners, did not have a press con before it. They should have.
That's why they were informed.
Yes, and number two, based on research ko, it's a news show trying to reach out to a niche market. Parang there are Spanish shows. In America, there are news shows catering to the Hispanic community of America.
Yes.
Yun, when you go to Miami, kasi Spanish speaking,
mga Hispanic,
Mexicans,
yeah, correct.
Si Jennifer Lopez, ang first language niya.
Mga
it doesn't mean it's a Spain show. It's
Spain
a local
show.
It's an American show. Kasi ang problema sa Philippines, we are not good at communicating the Chinese community in the Philippines. Filipinos, 95%. 95% of the Chinese in the Philippines are Filipino citizens born here.
Yes.
More than 100 years, 200 years na. pero hindi mo ma-blame kasi even the Jews in America, kahit na 200 years na sila sa America, some people still look at the Jews in New York as foreigner. Like iba pa to, Jew to, hindi siya American, some of the people.
Okay.
Yun lang, kailangan lang better communication on both sides.
Yes.
I think it's an issue of miscommunication. Yung ABS blunder na yan, it was a mistake by ABS and their co-producers. Kasi matalino naman ang ABS, they wouldn't allow a foreign news show to do it. In the Philippines, foreign media ownership is banned. 100% owned by lahat ng Jaryo, TV, and shows should be local owned in the Philippines.
And again, just to repeat, no, it's really all about miscommunication. Naku, mahirap nga talaga yan. But on a serious note, no, but Wilson, before we talked about media, to something serious naman, we would like to know your thoughts regarding the nature of the foreign policy towards China when it comes to the West Philippine Sea. May impact sa business mo ngayon or malaki ba ang kanyang issue?
Sa businesses ng personal, walang impact. The on good impact before the pandemic they benefited sobra from the tourism boom. Before the
Right.
pandemic, tourism influx from China going to the Philippines was growing by leaps and bounds. Nothing compared to sila, puro young Chinese tourists. And one time, I was invited to Europe kasi I
Mhm.
have star. I was invited on a tour of Europe. Kasama ko lahat sa tour, ha? Puro matatandang Amerikano and British and other. Lahat puro retirees sa puti ang buhok. Pero nakita ko yung mga tour group from China, puro young. Puro mga honeymooners na grabe gumastos. Whether you go to
Grabe,
Germany,
ito.
whether
Oo.
you go to Germany, you go to Greece, lahat ng high-end stores, puro Chinese tourists. And in Japan, there's a place na kapunta ko. I don't buy expensive watches, pero I was invited to this area in Tokyo where you have all the most expensive watches, 10 million, 5 million peso per watch sa Japan. Lahat ng mga tindera doon sa katindero, lahat, all Mandarin speakers. Alam mo ba't alam ko? When they saw
Oo.
me, they actually presume na taga-China ako kasi the only people going there now, puro Chinese. Tapos they all to be in
Yeah.
Mandarin. Nagpunta ko, ano to? Chinatown to. Chinese na. Alam mo
Akala
sabi,
tayo mainland
sabi,
China. Oh.
alam mo sabi ng mga Japanese people there, kasi their biggest customers of expensive watches, Chinese tourists. So yun ang benefit of our foreign policy na when we normalize sa global, no ng away kasi all the the independent foreign policy South Korea. Ang South Korea is technically still at war with China kasi ang China kakampi sila with North Korea, di ba? Ideologically,
Correct.
the same sila.
Oh,
Communist silang dalawa, di ba?
Asian, yeah. Mm-mm.
Pero I'll tell you how smart the South Koreans are and how practical they are. They are technically still at war with China. Nakakampi ang North Korea, di ba? Their number one source of tourists is China. Their number one trading partner is the... Yes, South Korea is the perfect example. Dapat galit. Dapat ang South Korea, galit yan kasi ba't mo kinakampihan ng North Korea? Bakit kayo nagsusustento sa... They're the ones sustaining North Korea. Kung di, tumba na economy ng North Korea. Without China, North Korea would have fallen 10, 20 years ago. Pero, practical lang mga South Koreans. In fact, the number one among college students in Korea and European or American South Koreans. They want the China market. They want the market of China for business, for tourism and investments. Even ng China.
Sabi nga pati influence.
Sa Philippine foreign policy in the last few years, we are becoming balanced. Kaibigan na rin pati Russia. Russia is now our friend. There was a time we were shunning Russia totally, di ba? Now we are good friends with Russia na rin. So suggestion ko, we are a small country. We should be friends with all the big countries and look after our self-interest. What is good for the Philippine economic interest, yun lang habol natin. Huwag tayo sumama sa away ng mga yan. Yung mga away ng mga malalaking elepante, huwag tayo makisama dyan. Bahala sila magbakbakan doon sa taas. Tayo dapat makinabang sa lahat. Parang Kamuning Bakery. I own a small bakery, di ba?
Yes. Your 82-year-old bakery.
Yes, Kamuning Bakery. Ano ang strategy ko? I buy flour from two of the biggest flour mill in the Philippines. Sekreta ko I'm very small. I buy from the two biggest. Madelay lang yung tao ko sa office si Grace mag-order from the other one. Alam mo yung kabila tatawag na, Sir, galit ba kayo sa amin? Ba't kayo hindi na-order sa amin 1 week na? At galit na siya. Tapos ano gusto mong pressure? Bibigay ko sa inyo na kayo mawala sa amin. Alam mo, kahit na you're small, you have to play each other. Alam mo yan? Hindi ka pwede beholden to one person. Pero pag ikaw beholden ko one power only o one supplier, kunyari, I talk to only one supplier. Wala na ako ibang supplier, di ba? Kahit na basura ibigay sa akin, kahit na mataas ang presyo, I have no choice. I have to keep begging and being good to only one boss. Pero pag dalawa, tatlo nang liligaw sa'yo, like ikaw, Jamie, mukha ka artista, kunyari may tatlo nang liligaw sa'yo, that's better than isa lang. Sorry unless
select
against each other, di ba? Parang bansa, we are a small country, Pero if we're smart like Thailand is like that eh. Close to China, close to Japan, close to Russia, and close to the US very much.
Yeah.
So we have to be like that. Sana, close to
Well,
everyone.
it's really important, no? Yung what you said, dapat very diverse so
If you're close to only one, there's a tendency they will take you for granted also. Na
yes,
bata ko
that's
na yan.
true.
Bata ko na yan, kahit hindi lang pagkaibigan mo na Russia and China, tapos nagbigay ng vaccine sa weapons, tapos siya wala pa, magkakaroon na yan. Ano, di ba nagbigay ng China ng vaccine 1 or 2 million? Libre?
Yes.
Maghintay ka, Jamie, in 1 or 2 months, darating na Pfizer.
Mag-research.
Darating na yan.
Oo.
Darating na yan. O, kasi yan tagal-tagal, wala pa. Ano yan, parang play each other against each other. Without being in Singapore, is majority Chinese people, Chinese majority, pero close sa America, close sa China, close sa Japan, not owned by any one of them. Nobody owns Singapore. Hindi siya tuta ng America or China. We should be like that. Someday sana, na tao, tuta ng China yan totally. Ang Cuba, ang Cuba, totally ano yan, tuta yan ng Russia, totally. Masama yan. We should be known like Thailand. We should be known like Thailand na kaibigan lahat. And
tama
smart,
yun, no? Talagang,
wise,
oo. Yun ang dapat
we should be wise.
Isipin nating lahat, no? Work wisely, build wise and strong relationships sa lahat ng mga, with everyone talaga. You don't really need to discriminate. You don't need to put the other party down. Basta talaga it's all about being kind also to unite and work as a family, kahit no matter what race, gender, age, ano man yan. So it's very important. Another takeaway na na-educate mo kami today, Wilson. Pero we have come to the part of the show. We would like to call this Ungrind. Kasi Wilson, alam natin, ngayong pandemic, ang dami nating mga disappointments, mga frustrations, depressed na tayo. O minsan rage, talaga parang rawr. So itong segment nito, I will give you 60 seconds. You can release anything. Lahat ng pwede ko sigaw, pwede ko. Pero, kumbaga, breathe out everything.
Ang masama lang about the pandemic, number one, I think boredom. We are bored.
Yes. That's what we were talking before the show.
Yes. Parang like we have been in prison for more than a year. Nakakulong tayo more than a year. Diba? Parang gusto mo na tumakas sa kulungan. That's how we feel. And number two, lately, pag magbukas ka ng Facebook, everyday na lang may nagko-condolence.
Yes.
Every day, in my entire life using Facebook and Instagram, you can follow me Instagram, Wilson B. Flores, saka Twitter, I've never encountered every day na lang magbukas, somebody you know has somebody
died.
Every day. It reminds us that life is
yun nga we should be hopeful that sometimes ang daming triggers. Alam mo yun, like no matter how do you deal with it, no? Like for example na, yun nga parang you're trying to be positive, pero yun na nga, once you open your social media, naku, ito may problema, naku, ito may ganyan na naman, naku, may bagong variant na naman ng virus, naku, itong sa vaccine.
Sa social media, ang daming complaints pa, di ba? Complaints.
Exactly.
I understand naman na we are tend to complain kasi maraming problema. But ako, there's a very old Chinese proverb na it's better to light a candle than to curse the darkness.
I like that.
Let's be sources of hope in our own small way. Let us repeat our friends. Kasi we cannot complain kasi kung walang complaint, hindi nag-improve ng ibang tao, diba? Pero
Yeah.
once in a while, let us be positive sources of hope and inspiration and even laughter and humor and relaxation like your show, Jamie.
Yeah,
Yeah, your
wow,
show.
thank you.
This is a source of enlightenment, fun, and unwinding, ungrinding, ganyan.
Yes, it's really true. So I would like to thank our Grind Mag TV family. Sobrang, alam mo, napakagaling talaga
Yes.
ng
At
ating
saka
show,
talented
no?
yung mga
Really
tao mo.
educating. Totoo.
Kasi
Nako.
yes.
Oo. Shout out to Kay, Yas, and Jay.
Yes.
Ayan.
Yes, kumusta
Let's
kayo dyan sa
grind.
backstage? Kumusta kayo sa backstage? Uy, next time I will treat to come again for anniversaries and birthdays and whatever. Pagbutihin mo sobra in this time of depression, sadness, and maraming condolence. Every single birthday celebration other people. We have to help cheer up other people.
Yes. So, ayan, no? Thank you so much for that. Really about hope. Ayan, so pag naisip
Thank you,
natin,
Jamie.
hope, pumunta tayo ng Kamuning Bakery to give us joy and
Yeah.
light. But ayan na nga, no, before we proceed to our program, Grindy Talk Season
Yes.
2 will be back after a short break. Yes, I am still with the sun and it's been such a fun
Yes.
and amazing episode. Dami nating mga videos for today's episode. But yes, thank you for being for your quotable
Thank you,
quotes
Jamie.
na talagang I just said na I will keep in mind in times of, pag
Yes.
gusto mo nang ma-frustrate, diba?
Sumigaw.
So, go back
Oo.
to that. Oo. So,
Diba, no pandemics or epidemics last forever.
yun.
Walang forever. Walang
Walang
forever, even
forever.
pandemics. Oo,
Pwedeng
pati pandemics,
pakiulit,
hindi
Wilson.
forever. Oo,
Pwedeng pakiulit yung first quote.
Oo, pandemics, no epidemics last forever. So,
Yun.
in the past 1,000 years of human history, may Black Plague, may Spanish influenza. Unfair to the Spanish, hindi naman Spanish yun eh. No epidemics last forever. So, let us not lose hope. Never lose hope.
Yes, never lose hope. And again, my favorite
Yes.
quote, pwedeng ayan,
There's
para
a
lang
Chinese
natin.
there's a Chinese proverb. It is better to light a candle than to curse the dark.
You know, in the
Always.
ganyan. I'd like to thank the following sponsors, and they are supported because Grindy Talk Season 2 is supported by Workful Collaborative Workspaces Hospitality Innovators. Also, for sponsorships and collaborations, if you want to feature your brands, your projects, or your company, please drop us an email at bontvcchannel@gmail.com. And while you're at it, follow our socials. Meron tayo sa Facebook, that is at GrindMag TV, and at TBC Plus. At meron din tayong YouTube channel, that is the Filter Channel. So ito naman tayo, no? On the lighter note, this one. We've been busy doing with, or yung pinakakalam mo for this crazy topsy-turvy situation.
I'm mainly in the real estate business. Economy. Real estate is really almost matos or siguro. So I'm busy with Bakery Cafe.
Nice,
Nakikibake,
nice.
nakikikain ng staff
Wow.
and nakiki-assistant baker, nakikialam sa mga bakers. So in the past 1 year, ever since the pandemic lockdown up to now, ang dami namin bagong products and